Hey there, this is Katie coming from DoTradeshow. So I had a situation happen with my business, some fraud, and I don't really know what to do. I really comes down to $56,000 of fraud, and I am trying to kind of make sense of it all. I feel numb, sick to my stomach, but at the same time, I have this drive to want to make sure to stop this from happening again. So the story of it is someone reached out to me over a month ago, and I just knew, but I had no proof. I've dealt with incompetent people before, and it kind of was one of those things where I'm like, well, let's see where this goes, because at this point I don't really know if this is fraud or not, but okay. So the person comes to me and wanting a quote, and you can see what's behind me is what I make. So I manufacture displays for trade shows, events, and expos, and I print anything from banners and flags and, kind of anything you'd use for even parades to stuff you'd have in your store. And this person wanted a quote, and I'm like, okay, he wants some different variations of products. I give him a quote, and he's like, oh, great, but I don't use Shopify. I'm like, use only QuickBooks or Stripe for my business. I'm like, okay. So I sent him over a QuickBook invoice. And then, so I sent him this QuickBook invoice. He's like, great, but I need 10 of each. I'm like, oh, what? This is like a $5,000 order, which I've done $5,000 orders before. This is going to be a lot of money. And then, so he said he wants 10 of each of the 5 different variations. And I'm like, okay. So this comes to me $45,000. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm putting this into QuickBooks. I've done $20,000 estimates. I've never done anything that's been, $40,000. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, he'll never pay this. He'll never pay this. He fucking paid it. And what I did, I immediately the next day, because this was like 7 o'clock my time at night, and I go to the authorities. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, this does not seem right. So I automatically got in touch with a detective. And then I call QuickBooks, and I ask QuickBooks, hey, what is this transaction? This person paid me this money. This is a lot of money to be playing with. I need proof. I need proof that, this order is real. Like, how long will it take to be posted in my bank account? I don't know, because at this point I'm thinking this is stolen money and that he's trying to funnel money through my business. I don't know. And QuickBooks said, oh, it's in, a bank-to-bank transfer, ACH. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I've never used QuickBooks before. I've done other things for people where they pay me wire transfer or they'll give me a check. And it's like, what is this? So they say that, oh, it'll post in your bank account in, 2 to 5 business days, you'll see it there. I'm like, okay, so I sit on it. I'm not doing anything, whatever. And going about, just didn't talk to the person. And then he, sends me artwork. I call him, like, hey, kind of going through the process of how I would with any other customer. And then he asks for a refund, a partial refund, because his partner changed his mind. And I'm like, this is a red flag. I don't like this. So I automatically go to QuickBooks. I'm on the phone with him for almost 40 minutes. Sorry, someone's calling me. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, I'm on the phone with this person for 40 minutes trying to figure out what's going on. Like, this person wants a partial refund, but I don't feel good about it because at this point, I don't know if this money's real. I don't know if this is stolen money. I want to try to do right by someone else because $45,000 is a lot of money to play with. So I'm sitting on this money trying to, get an answer from QuickBooks, help from my bank, help from the detective, and trying to figure out what to do. And I was going to have it where I'd mail him a paper check in the mail, and he'd get it when the product was shipped. And at this point, I still don't have proof. I still don't have proof to withhold him this money because QuickBooks advised me, okay, if you don't know if this is fraud or if you're not really sure, let's figure out the steps we can go about doing this partial refund. And I'm like, okay, what do I do here? So they're like, oh, maybe do a check or a bill, pay some sort of other check too. And then I ended up just doing a wire transfer because, a week had gone by and I'm like, I'll just, I'll give him his refund because I have no proof to show that this person is a fraud. I just have ringers in my gut telling me that this is wrong. And so I get a notification in my email saying that money is going to be pulled out of my account from QuickBooks because the first, when I talked to them, I'm like, what is happening here? You guys told me that there's no way for you guys to get money back. And now I'm getting money taken out of my account. What is going on? And the first person I talked to is, it might be, because I could see on QuickBooks, like, this person filed a dispute. I'm like, I don't understand. How could he file a dispute and get his money back? This is exactly why I called you about him wanting to do a partial refund, because I'm scared he could get this money back. And I'm scared I'll be wiring transfer or sending a check to him to, potentially get more money out of me. And that's where, mind you, I'm now defrauded $56,000 because I sent him out money of $11,000 for a partial refund, and now I have to fucking go back to QuickBooks because the story is QuickBooks borrowed me the money. They never told me from the beginning. When I first asked them, the very first day, business day of when I got this money, is this real money? How do I know if this is transferred into my bank? How long will it take to be posted in my bank account? How come they didn't tell me that it was pending state when I was trying to do a refund amount? And in the very beginning that, it's pending, if it's an ACH, don't do anything until it clears. Why the fuck did it take them a month to notify me that this is insufficient funds? And that they call me today telling me like, it's just, they were trying to send money from an account that was closed or something like that. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm dealing with incompetent fools in QuickBooks. No one is doing anything. I right away did my due diligence. I got on the phone with QuickBooks the very next day. I got in contact with authorities, got in contact with a detective. I'm talking to my bank. And QuickBooks is now telling me that I have a debt to owe to them, that I now have a credit, and I'm going to having people come after me to pay this back because what I did when I got this notification that something was going on, I went to the bank. I closed all my bank accounts. I moved the money because if they would have taken that $45,000 out of my bank account, I'd have nothing left. Absolutely nothing. Because this $45,000 plus the 11 puts you at $56,000. And QuickBooks is like, well, you owe us our money back. How is this right, you guys? I honestly don't even know what to do at this point. I'm just praying that I'm doing the right thing. I'm posting a video and not really knowing if I should be posting this video or if I should, honestly, I don't really know what my steps are. But the fact is, I've been dealing with incompetent fools within QuickBooks. No one's listening to the recordings. I have a recording from May 21st at 1:52 p.m. for 20 minutes and 8 seconds going through trying to figure out if this is a legitimate deposit and if this is not a ghost amount. And then I called them again on May 30th. At 12:43 and talked to them for almost 40 minutes, 38 minutes, some odd seconds, trying to figure out how to do this partial refund and if I should do this and if this is not fraud. Because at this point, that's a lot of money to be transferring. So if I wouldn't have, sat there and just sat on the money and done nothing, but at this point I wouldn't have known that it was ACH because they get back to me 3 weeks later telling me that, there's insufficient funds. I have never heard of this. I've never heard of this before. Correct me if I'm wrong, that it would take someone 30 days, like 3 weeks from the date that, this is insufficient funds. Why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me? And on top of it, why didn't you put it in my bank account that it was pending? Instead of giving me instant gratification that I have money? Because I was sitting on it. And I was sitting on it for a very long time because I didn't give the partial refund to the damn idiot until the first and June 4th, I think it was. If I pull up my calendar here, it was the very first week in June. The 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th, somewhere in there. And then I got a notification a week later, not even a week later from the time that I sent him money, that, there's insufficient funds. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh my gosh, if QuickBooks would have got their A game on and actually escalated what I was talking about and actually escalated my concern and the fact that I did my job right away and was wanting to have help to help understand if this was fraud. Because when I talked to the detective's like, yeah, your ringers tell you that this is fraud, but yet you have no proof because you have money in your bank account. You're not a victim yet. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like people would say, what, not a victim yet? Yeah, she is. But at the same time, this very same day that I get a notification that there's going to be money taken out of my account, the person comes back and wants to place another order. Isn't that strange? So he's been doing this before. So it's like, okay, I'm going to put money in, and money's going to come out, and they're not going to catch it because they think it's just some sort of glitch in the system. Granted, those are just my thoughts. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he wants to place another order, and I'm trying to, keep contacting with this person in hopes that I can try to get my wire transfer back. I highly doubt it. I haven't heard anything back yet. And he's like, yeah. And then I told him, I said, hey, we got insufficient funds. Can you help me clear this up? He's like, what do you mean insufficient funds? I don't understand. Help me clarify. I'm like, okay, well, DoTradeshow is now negative XYZ amount. We $45,000 plus the 11 puts up 56. He's like, let me get back to you. And he said, oh, please try again. Resubmit QuickBooks payment. And I had said, well, QuickBooks is having an issue. We'll have to do either wire transfer or, pay by check. And he's like, well, I don't have checks for my business. And I said, okay, what steps can we take moving forward? And that's the last time I heard of him. And the thing is, I'm not even upset with the fact that I got defrauded. I'm upset with the fact that QuickBooks didn't take care of me. I'm upset with the fact that I tried to catch someone and I wanted to prove what my gut was telling me was true. But yet, they just tell me that this is a legitimate order. This is your money. And QuickBooks is refusing to listen to the recordings. I keep getting incompetent fools. Now I just have debt collectors coming after me telling me that I owe this $45,000. And I tell them, you're not getting this $45,000 back because if I give you this $45,000 back, which is a sob story, my family doesn't have a home. My children don't have a bed to sleep on. Ugh. And I tried really hard not to tear up because I haven't been able to sleep. I'm so numb, even trying to run my business. This is just disgusting. My customers, my customers know what's going on. A couple close ones, and they're like, hey, you should start a GoFundMe page. I'm like, I'm too proud for that. But I'll probably have to go into that because I have no idea what kind of line I'm up against because I'm a sheep. I'm a small business. QuickBooks doesn't care about anyone. And, if I don't know what they're going to do to try to get this $45,000, that's their money that they borrowed me. That's, quote, what they said, which they had no right to do that. If they were actually smart, and the fact that they don't have a fraud department is pretty bad. Because I've been using Shopify for my e-commerce store since 2018. Nothing like this has ever happened. But I've used QuickBooks for the first time, and it happens to me the first time you use QuickBooks. This is definitely telling you something. So at this point, I don't even know what to do, and even if it's a good idea to have this video out there, because I have no idea what kind of repercussions I'm going to have from QuickBooks. But I have people tell me that, okay, Katie, this is happening to you, and I have to, figure out what action steps to take moving forward. I'm in the process of, do I sell my machines to help me regain capital? I'm contacting vendors to be like, hey, can you, buy this supply from me that I have because I have a warehouse full of product. And at this point, I don't know what to do. And I feel extremely vulnerable. Very vulnerable because I feel like, yes, this happened to me, but at the same time, part of me is like, how could you be so stupid, Katie? But at the same time, I'm proud of the steps that I take because I did a really good job. QuickBooks is the one that's being stupid in the fact that they didn't own up to the fact that they messed up along the way and why no one took my scarcity from the very first day seriously, and how now QuickBooks is saying that we're not going to be out that money. That $45,000 is not a cost that we can eat. So I'm like, really? So it's okay for you to put a business, a family-owned business, out of business. Mind you, I'm a family of 8. I have 6 children and a bonus child, and I just had a baby. And you're telling me that I have to now figure out how to dispute this credit and come up with a payment plan when this fault is yours. And as a business owner, if I place an order with a customer, mind you, if you're the customer, you buy something from me, and I go through the process, and we fuck up along the way, who's eating that cost? Me. I'm a business owner because I messed up. So if there's an artwork error, or not necessarily an artwork error, but if there's some sort of error, like you order something and I give you the wrong product, I need to fix that. And that's exactly what I told QuickBooks. I am your customer. You were fulfilling and you did wrong on the way. And you need to own up to that. And now it's like I'm being spammed with emails of debt collecting and all this stuff. And I'm getting calls, and I said, did you review the recordings yet? Because if you didn't, get me on the phone with someone who has, so we can sit down and have a conversation respectfully as an adults and show that, obviously QuickBooks messed up and I need to talk to that person. But it's so stupid that I keep getting in touch with incompetent fools that honestly, they're clearly just doing their job and they're not the person to be talking to. But moral of the story really is, that's 15 minutes of your time that I respect the fact that you've given to me. I'm sitting here in my office trying to figure out how to work and how to get more orders into my business and honestly what to do. I am so numb. I don't even actually want to work. I literally just want to shut my computer off and ignore the world and ignore what has happened. But at the same time, I tell myself that, you know what, the universe and God has given this situation to me for a reason. I have gone through the ringer with my business the last 3 years. Holy shit, have I gone through shit. But no better person to have it happen to than me because of everything I've gone through, all the muscles I had to endure and build in pain. I'll be able to fight this one and win. That's what I'm telling myself. That's what I feel down in my gut. But in the process, there's obviously still a little bit of that doubt. But it's like I can't believe the audacity that I'm going through this. Just everything. There's fraud. Like just when you think you haven't been frauded, you've been frauded. And trying to keep your doors open and, let alone the fact that we barely survived COVID and the fact that we're still trying to repair the damage from COVID. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this one. I really don't. And it's all due to QuickBooks. Thank you. If you're listening to this video, QuickBooks, thank you for hurting a business. Thank you for potentially taking a bed away from 6 children. Yeah, it's pretty sappy, but it's the truth because everything I own with this business is tied. Everything I own is tied to this business. When I took this business over from the founder, I took everything that I possibly owned to acquire this business. And I'm fighting tooth and nail to try to stay alive. So if you made it to this point and you're still with me, I value your time. And I really appreciate the help. I mean, you sharing this video, I don't really know what this video is going to do. And I don't really know why I'm doing it, to be honest. Actually, I think I'm just numb. Just putting it out there. Hey, if you need anyone who needs printed displays, give me a call. I could use the business. If you want to contribute a donation, even though that's really hard for me to say, and I feel really just vulnerable saying that, my family would really appreciate it. So, until then, I pray I can get this situation figured out and that, a blessing will come, which I think it will, because every situation does have a blessing in it. There's always something in there. Like Alex Ramosi says, I know that ignorance debt, which I am hardcore with this one, but I kind of feel like I've built so many muscles with my business and had to be put in the ringer, and I've lost so many times that I feel like I might actually win this one, but I don't know. So thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you and appreciate the time you've given me. This is a lot of time to sit here and listen to someone just banter about their problems. But yeah, if you could share, I guess, help, maybe that would help. I don't know. I don't really do these videos. So until then, I wish you all the very best and thank you.